Welcome back, everyone. In today's video, I'm going to cover game 38 of a first book of Morphy. We have a new middle game rule, rule number 5, don't expose your king while the enemy queen is still on the board. We have Paul Morphy versus an amateur, and we have the Evans Gambit on the board. So let's go ahead and go through the moves. So let's get to the Evans Gambit position. This time we have bishop a5 on the board. Again, if you have seen the previous videos, you've seen that the other players have gone bishop c5, which is going to fall to d4. And the bishop gets hit again, meaning that black has to waste another move, moving the bishop from c5 to c6, right? So this time, black goes bishop a5. Again here, so we already know white sacrificed a pawn for development. Again, getting 2 moves. This time, white castles. So white sacrifices another pawn for development. Black goes pawn grabbing. Here the author recommends knight g to e7. Black can fight for center control with this move order. After c captures on d4, d5. Then the bishop retreats, and then now we can have this type of game with d captures on e4. And now white, after bishop captures, now white is left with an isolated pawn here on d4, which could be a target for later on. And also, if white decides to push on d5, it's defended by the queen and the bishop too. But black, now with bishop e6, has 3 defenders: the bishop, the knight, and the queen. So instead of knight g to e7, we have d captures c3. And then this gives white a developing move with the capture. Not right now, but in the future. Okay, so after this, we have bishop a3. Now, here the author just discusses about the move order. Yes, the bishop is now on a3 and it's preventing black from castling, but it leaves, before it was here, it's preventing knight h6. And of course, if knight to g6, then we just push e5. So here, black has now the option of knight h6. The author recommended queen b3, this move order first. Now after queen f6, e5, queen g6, and then now bishop a3. And then now here it says that this bishop is better because now with the pawn e5, it attacks d6 twice. So here we have, in the game, we have d6 by black. Now queen b3 by white. Black goes knight h6, attacking g4 twice. Knight captures on c3 and bishop captures on c3. And here just the author comments that black makes this trade before the knight leaves c3 and leaves the bishop staring into space. So note that the dark squared bishop has moved 4 times. Again, this piece has been moved 4 times. This also sets up b2 with a battery along the diagonal. So after queen captures, now bishop b2, and now there's a battery on this diagonal. And again, let's go back here. If the knight leaves, right, well, now this bishop is left doing nothing, right? Just staring into nothing. So it's not hitting any pieces. Queen captures c3. And now again, we have another case of castling into the attack. If you see all the pieces pointing at the king side, it might not be a good idea to castle that way, right? So if you see all the pieces pointing here to your king side, if we look at this from black's perspective, then you might want to play maybe bishop to c7, queen e7, and then castle the other side. But of course, again, the bishops will probably retreat, and then the rooks will come in to put pressure here on this diagonal. So it's your judgment. I would probably develop first, and see what white does, and then have the option to castle king side or queen side once the bishop and the rooks are developed. Like say in this position, now you can kind of see, okay, where do you really want to castle? Again, I would probably castle queen side here. So in the game, black castled king side. Rook a to d1. The threat is to open the position with e5. Now here, when I was going through the game over the board, here I had an idea, right? Again, since the square is being attacked, g4 is being attacked twice by the bishop and the knight, my idea was h3. So I play h3, preventing knight g5. And then after bishop e6, then I want to play bishop c1 and attack this bishop here to double up black's pawns. Now it's important in a game how you capture, right? Bishop captures. Now if queen captures, black has his resource with bishop. Now if we take on h6 with queen f6, now black captures and the attack is pretty much non-existent no more for white. And the plan was to double black's pawns, and that didn't happen. Now instead, if we capture the bishop on c4, if we play bishop captures h6 first, now if bishop captures on f1, then we have checkmate with queen g7. So then here, black has to recapture first, and now black's pawns are doubled up, and then we capture with the queen. So of course this is better. So let me compare the positions. This position versus this position, right? So if we compare these positions, if we captured h6 first, now we have black's pawns doubled compared to this position. Now in the game, this did not happen, right? Again, Morphy played rook a to d1. Now knight g4. And again, this wasn't really a threat. But maybe if black played bishop to g4, there's a pin here. But again, black maybe made an inaccuracy, however you want to call it, with knight g4. Now we'll see why he played knight g4, because he wanted to go knight e5. And now here, knight captures on e5. And again, if you watched the last video where I talked about the captures and paying attention who initiates the capture, and if it is beneficial for you to initiate the capture. Here, white initiates the trade, but it is unusual because white is behind in material, right? So that was one of the rules that we talked about. If you're behind in material, in this case 2 pawns, then you don't want to start trading pieces, because in the end game you're going to be down 2 pawns. So we're going to go ahead and examine what's the benefit of white initiating this trade. Black captures on with knight e5. Knight recaptures. And of course, this is beneficial for black because he moves his piece forward, right? The knight is coming forward and is attacking the bishop. So what's the benefit for white? The benefit for white is now white can bring the f pawn into the game with knight f4, and the rook gets activated, right? So that is a benefit for white. But before we play f4, we have to retreat our bishop. If we go bishop b3, then now this shuts down our bishop pretty much. So we have to retreat it to a safe square. Again, the author comments this exact things, right? White must preserve his attacking bishop. He intends to return it to c4 after chasing the knight with f4. Okay, so again, this is a safe square for the bishop. It gets out of the way from the rooks, from the pawn. We still intend to play f4. And then once the knight is kicked out, like say this is a move order. Right now we kick out the knight. Knight goes to maybe c6. Now we can return it And if we trade, now we have the queen here, right? So this could be a possible move order. Okay, so bishop e2, f5. Here, the author comments that this is a very bad move. Again, this is the position from the thumbnail, right? Don't expose your king while the enemy queen is out, is on the board. So here, again, just exposing your king, opening up your king, lagging in development. And here, the author comments that Grandmaster Reddy recommended f6 and knight g6 to make it more difficult for white to push e5. So first we have to analyze that white is trying to go f4. And then after f4, e5 to break open the position to trade pawns. And then now the rooks are activated. So if we know this, then we can play, instead of f5, we can play f6. f5, f6. Now after f4, knight g5, knight g6, and it helps guard the e5 push. Right, so if something like this happens, then we can kind of try to destroy white's attack. So now we have f5. This is a blunder. Okay, f4, kicking the knight out. And here, again, black goes c6. Maybe knight g6 seems more reasonable, where the knight can help, the knight is on the king side, help and defend against the attack. But black goes knight c6. We have bishop c4. Okay, king h8. Bishop b2, the battery along the diagonal. Queen e7. Rook d1, rook f6. Okay, e captures f5, queen f8. Now here, you can pause the video and find the winning move for white. There's a tactic here for white. After Paul Morphy made this move, the author commentated that this move was celebrated. So pause the video, find the move. All right, so when I was playing this over the board, I couldn't find it either as well. And again, I gave myself about a minute or so to try to find the move. So the move is rook e8. So this move is designed to deflect the black queen from regard of f6, so white can crash across the diagonal. So queen captures e8, queen captures f6, and if pawn captures, then we have a checkmate here. So after queen f6, queen e7, queen captures g7, queen captures g7, f6, queen captures g2, king captures g2, bishop captures h3, king captures h3, and then here it's pretty much game over and black resigns. Now, as far as the computer analysis, the only move that is important is f5. That is the move that the computer says that it is a blunder. So that's pretty much it. Just a quick recap of what happened in the game. Yes, white could have had a better move order. Black castled into the attack. Maybe black could have waited and played develop first and decided then where to castle, king side or queen side. Again, and then this move also exposed black's king. So this move also pretty much lost black the game. All right, so let me know what you thought of this video, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good day.